Hi, I'm Keith Allen, and I play Murphy on Z Nation, and I listen to One Up Gaming Podcast.
Yeah, this how we do it, y'all. L-G-E, man.
Straight out of Donnie Style Production.
What up to you, One Up Gaming? They're not really ready for this one. One Up Gaming is behind me. Let me get in beast mode. If you wanna try me, you don't need a cheat code. Conte is who I be. To you is Mr. Hero, legendary adversary. Flows considered lethal. I'm a Super Saiyan. I got Dragon Balls. I wouldn't lie. You might think I'm playing when I'm saying I can really fly. When I'm on the track, you feel the energy I'm pushing out. Put me on the map. One Up Gaming's who I'm talking about. I'm the rapping Master Chief, epic to say the least. Contain the hero, better etch that in your memory. And so the One Up Gaming for the show out. Contain the hero is really gonna show out. Show out. Contain. And so the One Up. And so the One Up.
Dope bitch you ever heard.
Hi, David here, One Up Gaming. Gonna have a quick go. I keep saying we're gonna have a quick go. We're not playing a bloody game. This is gonna be our podcast. This is podcast 386 of the One Up Gaming podcast. As always, we're sponsored by Games Inspired Music, and 20% of each sale will go to the Child's Play charity. And I don't even know why I chose that charity. I think it's because at the time when we were doing the album, I just saw and heard a lot about people doing the 24-hour streams and the gaming things and donating a lot of proceeds to Child's Play. So I thought, well, I'll jump on the bandwagon, and if you buy this album, 20% of each sale will go to the Child's Play charity. So that is what we do in essence. And we do have our first 100 podcasts available from audiobooksontape.com. And £1 of each sale will go to the, can you see that? £1 of each sale will go to the Diabetes UK charity. So that is all of our stuff there. I will say we are going to be giving away the EA Sports FC 24 Xbox game. I'm going to be checking the, do we still have it up? Yeah, we still have it up. I'm going to be checking to see if we have any late entries. I've just put a tweet up, or an X up, what we want to call it, on our Twitter account. I don't know, and yeah, we'll go through and see what. This is just going to be a long episode, isn't it? It's going to be a long episode. If anyone watches this and thinks, oh my god, you're an idiot, I could do better, please email us at contact@oneupgaming.co.uk. I would love to have other people guest host and come on and have a chat, see what you guys are playing, what games you're all doing. Games you're doing? You get my gist. And we can have a quick conversation, and we'll see where we are in relation to random strangers on the street. So as always, we're going to talk about the games and stuff that we were playing this week, some of the movies we've been watching this week. I'll write down another movie that I've just remembered. There we go. I've wrote another movie down which I just remembered. It was a really good movie. Come back to that later.
Hi, I'm Matt Kapp, the lead artist on Binding of Isaac Rebirth and the creator of Castle in Darkness, and I listen to the One Up podcast.
Hello, Andy. This is Colin. I won't be able to get in tonight. I'm sweating all big. I'm sweating all big.
But first of all, we will go through the games we've been playing this week. So first of all, lasers. Now, some of these games I get sent to review, and a lot of them, the developers are just happy that we've played the game and put a video up on YouTube. That goes to show how good the game actually is. Some of them are actually fun to play, but they don't score well as a full game, simply because it's got a little gimmick that's quite fun. But if you were to charge 20 quid, 30 quid and play that game for 50 hours, it would be mind-numbingly boring as hell to play that game. So sometimes it's fun just to quickly load the game, have a quick blast of it and see how things go. And Lasers, unfortunately, is a game that I think would suffer from being reviewed, like a full review, but it's actually quite fun. The essence of the game is a third-person action sort of game. You can play either single player or as a multiplayer sort of game. It's you against a maze trying to get through to the end. So imagine, I can't even remember how some of these games are called now, but imagine we played a marble. I can't remember. Did you play it on this game, or was it last week? Maybe last week. It was like Marble Champions, I think it was, where it was you and 20 other people trying to get to the end of the level first, and you got points based on your skills. This is a very similar concept, but it's like a third-person action game with booby traps and jumps and things like that. Lasers, which is the essence of the name of the game. There's sections of it where there's a laser that comes across the floor, and you have to run along, jump, otherwise you get your legs sliced off. And it's one of those games where it's budget, really budget, but it's quite fun at the same time. It uses the same sort of gimmick as the, I guess I'd say Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil movie. And with that, the laser scene where it comes along, cuts up into little things and slices him into little dices. It uses that sort of gimmick, so when the laser comes across, you flop to the floor in two halves and stuff, and it's quite fun. It's fun, but it's rubbish. It's an absolutely train wreck of a game, but I enjoyed playing it. Think of that as you wish. I just thought it was a really weird game, and it's one of those games where you play it, have a bit of a laugh, and then after 20 minutes you turn it off and you just delete it and never touch it ever again. But Lasers, it's available on Steam. Have a look at that. Now I've got a couple of retro games in here. So we've got one for the PlayStation 2, and that is Home Alone. And I had this game for the Mega Drive, Home Alone. I didn't even realise they did a Home Alone game on the PlayStation 2. And it's basically, imagine like a maze Pac-Man sort of game, but you can have weapons and traps and things like that. But it is a very simple, basic Pac-Man style 3D game. And all the enemies look identical, and the mazes look identical. The game's so slow, monotonous. It is just a bad game. I think, was it Midas that have released this one? There's a couple of games, and that just sticks to the head. But yeah, this game was horrendous. It's got a little kid with blonde hair that looks nothing like Macaulay Culkin, and it is just a bad game. Keep away from it, stay away from it. Play it only if you want to put it on YouTube and say, look how bad that game looks. So that is that. So next up we have Robot Arena 3. And I couldn't tell you what Robot Arena 1 or 2 looks like, but I did have a quick go at Robot Arena 3. And this reminds me so much of the Robot Wars that came out on the PlayStation 2, where graphically they look okay, but they very, very lack any kind of physicality. So when you hit an opponent with a hammer or a saw, it doesn't hit as you expect, and it is very, very simple and basic. And then it's got the build your own robots, and when I say robots I mean like a four-wheeled sort of like car on the floor with a metal body with a hammer on the top or a saw on the top. And I would love this game if it felt better, if it had that something about it, even if it wasn't as realistic. It just needs that something to keep you hooked. It just feels off, it feels bad. So Robot Arena 3 I would not recommend. I think it's a basic game that looks quite good. Premier Manager 10. Now this isn't the 10th Premier Manager game, although it maybe could be. This is Premier Manager 2010. And again, this is the last game in the series that I'll be playing for a while. I've played Premier Manager, I think it was like 2 and 3, and then it went from like 2002, 2003, 2004, all the way through to 2010. And somewhere at the beginning, it had better screens, better options, full 3D game engine. It was amazing. It really was good. And then I'd have a guess that the publisher moved to somewhere else, and they got their own developer in, and they changed the whole engine. And then from Premier Manager 04, 05, somewhere around that sort of time, it's been the exact same engine. So this game is like a 5-year-old engine, just with updated stats and players. So I would say that this game isn't great. It's alright to play. I enjoyed it, but it could have been and should have been so much better. And that, my friends, is Premier Manager 10. Right, back to the retro-ness of the PlayStation 2, and we played Beverly Hills Cop. Now, the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy, bearing in mind I've just seen a trailer for the new Beverly Hills Cop, the trilogy itself is one of my all-time favourite series. It's almost perfect. It's got that bit of realistic violence and gore and the stupidity of 3 guys getting together and just being idiots. And I absolutely loved the movies. This is a third person. Was it third person or first person? Oh, it might have even been first. Oh God, I think it was first. Now you've got me questioning things. You've got me questioning things. I am going to stop the audio on the desktop. I am going to go to YouTube, and I'm gonna Google this game just to see if it was a first or third person game. Right, let's have a look. Oh yeah, definitely first person. Oh God, Blast. That's who published this. Oh, do you know what? It's not even gonna. It's gonna say, you have to watch this. Shut up. I don't want to watch adverts. But yeah. Right, I'm back. So yeah, Beverly Hills Cop. First person. Really, really janky, really bad playability. The first level, it took me so long to work out what you're meant to do, because it starts off and it shows like a 3D zoom around of the level, and you have to get from your start point into the factory without being seen, so like a stealth mission, stealth sort of stuff. And I was hiding behind a car, and people were like, "It's over there," and just run straight over to you, and it's like game over. Basically, you have to just walk across the level in a zigzag sort of shape, even though you're in full view of the other characters and the enemies. It doesn't recognise you if you're moving around the way you're supposed to go. If you stand still and try and hide, they just automatically know where you are and they know what you're doing and kill you. So it starts off on a bad note. Then it moves into like more of the first person sort of like puzzle solving and shooter sort of mechanics. And again, all of it is really bad. It's really budget. It's just a crap engine, crap game, and I really was disappointed. So Beverly Hills Cop, do not buy this, do not watch this, do not play this game. It's appalling. But I think it's on Netflix coming soon. There's a new Beverly Hills Cop movie. I am so there. I'm so excited for this game. So next up, Paperman Adventure Delivered. Now this is a kid-friendly third-person sort of like platform game, and you can change between 4 characters at certain sort of checkpoints within the levels, and all 4 of them have special abilities, and you have to, within the open world 3D environment, it's got like 4 different tracks to follow, and each track a certain character can only get so far on that level, so you need to keep swapping around and moving around and doing that type of thing. It's not good. It's one of those games that if Nintendo made this, then I can get behind the graphical style. It looks cute, it looks kiddie friendly as hell, but you press the jump button and it's only like 80% of the time you will jump, and that kills a platform game. You need pinpoint just controls. They need to be there, and that's why the Mario games, that's why the 2D Rayman games are absolutely amazing, because the controls are there. And in my opinion, that's why sometimes the Sonic games aren't the best, because sometimes you go to jump and it doesn't quite register, and it kills it. It really does. But Paperman Adventure Delivered, if you got a little kid, I'd say 5, 6-ish, it's not a bad little game for them to play, and I guess it'd be cheap, and it's probably out on the Switch. So next up, we have Football Manager 2024. Now, I've finally managed to play this game on my little PC, and it worked. It played. It looked quite nice. I was actually really enjoying the game. And yeah, I've not really played many of the Football Manager games, apart from like the mobile sort of, like the iOS sort of versions when I've had the iPad. Actually, no, it wasn't, was it? It was on the Samsung Galaxy Tab. It was Football Manager Touch, so it was basically like the full Football Manager game on with a touchscreen control interface, and I quite enjoyed that. It was quite slow though, you know, when you're playing on the tablet. This game ran a lot better, looked a lot better, and Football Manager, it's still an amazing game. So next up, we have a game called Unrestricted Pest Control, and this one is, well, I'd have a guess it is a top-down twin sticky sort of shooter game, and it was very simple looking, but it was just not, it played okay. It was just really cheap looking, really cheap feeling sort of game, but it plays alright. It looks bad. Yeah, it looks bad. Very cheap animation, very cheaply made enemies and content, but it plays okay, and that's the main. That is the main gist of the game there. So I would say that it plays good enough, and yeah, I wouldn't. I just wouldn't buy it. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it. Sorry. Yeah, nah. So Unrestricted Pest Control. Next up, the Mobius Machine. And this one, I just had to quickly Google it because I didn't actually know what the game actually was, because I couldn't remember. Because I've played quite a lot of like games, but I've got a scent, and when you play 5 or 6 games in a day, you kind of lose touch of where you are and what you've played. But the Mobius Machine is a rather nice sort of twin stick platform shooter puzzle game. It uses a 3D engine on a 2D plane, so a 2.5D game, kind of like a Metroid sort of game. You get new powers, new controls. It's alien worlds. It's really, really nicely done. The controls are nice, the graphics are nice, it plays well. It might be one of the better games of this week. It's probably the second best game this week. Yeah, I'd say the second best game this week behind Football Manager 2024. But yeah, the Mobius Machine, I would recommend giving it a go, see what you think. I would have a guess it's out on all the consoles. It looked nice, it played nice. And the final game that I played this week was 3D PrintMaster Simulator. And if anyone can't work out, this is a full 3D. It's a game that is a 3D printer simulator. So you start off, you have to fix up your shop, you have to buy the print machine, you have to go into a little computer within the game to order all the parts, then they all get delivered. You have to then put all the parts together, put it on the table, then you accept jobs by going to emails and accepting stuff. Then you have to download the program of the print, and then you go over to your 3D printer. It 3D prints. You just sit there and watch it do it. It just goes nah, like you think it would. After a few minutes, you then pick up your 3D printed ornament, I guess. Walk over to the other side of the room, and you put it in a box. You wrap it, and then you walk over to your door, and someone pops out of nothingness, and you give the box to them, and you get paid. And then you just repeat the process. And I'd have a guess after a while you can buy new printers, new 3D printers, new 3D printer plastic cord. I don't know what you call it, but that is what you can do on that. So on all the games played this week on episode 386, I would say Football Manager 2024 is the best. If anyone would like to comment on any of these games, let me know how much of an idiot I am for telling you how shite some of these games are. If anyone would like to come on our 400th podcast, which will be pretty soon now, please let us know. Email us at contact@oneupgaming.co.uk, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. The movies we've been watching this week, movies or TV series. First of all, The Beekeeper. Now, this is a movie that I had no expectations for. I'd not really heard much of it, but it was really fun. It was stupid fun, and in my opinion, when you have stupid fun, they're the best. I remember the movie. I don't really want to give anything away. I don't want to tell you the plot or anything. I will just tell you one thing. There's a bandsaw, there's a guy, and he just slops off his fingers, and he's got like 3 or 4 fingers missing. It's just stupid. I loved it. It was really fun. I managed to watch the end of Marvel's Echo, and It was okay, which is the thing I can say about a lot of the Marvel TV series. I wouldn't run out and shout how great it was. I wouldn't say it's shite. It's just not very... It's not the best. And it was just there to watch. And yeah, it's okay. Okay. And the last thing I've been watching in Spritz and Sprats, you got to think of the wife. You can't just keep running into everything. And that is a TV series called The Last Ship. And I started watching this years ago, and then it got taken off the thing I was watching, and it's back on now. So I've managed to watch near enough the full season of season 1. I think there's 6 seasons in total. And this is basically a virus has broken out. A scientist gets sent onto a ship, like an army, navy, not Navy SEALs, the Navy, big massive battleship, and they get sent to the Antarctic to do tests. They have to have they have to run silence and not allowed to go on like message people, ring people, whatever you want to call it, like on the radio and stuff. And then it turns out that the reason why they had to run silent is because the ship and the crew weren't told what was going on. It was only the scientist that knew. She was out there trying to find the origins of the virus and to get a vaccine made. And then 4 months later they end up coming back, and then like half the world's dead. It's, imagine if it's like COVID happened, but it was like really, really, like, you got the disease, you died basically. It wasn't like a sniffly nose and a cough. It was like deadly, and it is just a really, really good series. And I think this came out in 2016, so a good good 3-4 years before COVID, and it's just bloody good. Really enjoying it so far, really fun. I am so looking at that, and it is just amazing. So I will just say that is everything I've been watching and playing this week. I will say that this week's 10 Minutes of Nothing is talking about the Xbox situation. Anyone that doesn't know about it, Google it. Anyone that doesn't care about Googling it, just carry on watching the 10 Minutes of Nothing after this and on this podcast. So yeah, David here, What Up Gaming. I just remembered, I said I was going to give out the Xbox code. Let's have a look. So on Twitter, has anyone sent a message? No messages. Has anyone... Right, so when's the last time it was retweeted? No, that was the podcast. Alright, so that one there has been retweeted a few times. It's only had 200 views, not the best. No one retweeted it, that's nice, thank you guys. So I guess we'll go straight into our right, so comments. So right, that was about the Redout 2. So Dynabomb review, God, that's old. Who wouldn't have like and subbed? I'd like very good. Can you give me Grand Theft Auto 5 please? It would be really nice of yours. No, I don't have Grand Theft Auto 5. I was searching for that game, really love to play football games like EA. Hope I could win. I might just email this guy. He's had a good few emails over to us, so I will say, I will email this guy now. I will reply to him, and I will send him a message. So if you've applied, if you've liked and subscribed to the YouTube channel, look to your YouTube comments. I'm going to email you now, and then you'll have to just email us your details, and then we'll get this Xbox code given to you guys. To you. So thank you for entering. I'm not going to say the name, because if you don't reply back within the next sort of 4 or 5 days, then I will give the code to someone else. But I'll send you an email now, so when you're watching this, you'll know how long ago it was when I recorded this video. But yeah, I'm sending you this now, and hopefully you'll enjoy the code. So thank you for entering, and I will just say thank you all. It's been me, David, One Up Gaming, episode 386. Jesus, man. Yeah. So thank you all. I will go. I'm going home now. I'm gone. So thank you all. Goodbye.
Hi, I'm Lucy James, and I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast.
Up next on the One Up Gaming podcast is 10 minutes of nothing. Will it be the team talking about nothing or a guest interview? Stick around and find out now. It's 10 minutes of nothing. Yeah, 10 minutes of nothing.
Hi, David here, One Up Gaming. This is going to be from episode 386 of the One Up Gaming podcast. This is our 10 minutes of nothing, where we will talk about, I guess we have to talk about the rumours. I mean, this is going to go out pretty late, but that's the thing that happens when you record things. So we're going to talk about the rumoured Microsoft going multi-platform sort of thing. If anyone doesn't know, 10 Minutes of Nothing is a series that we started ironically when we talked to John Hare. Oh god, it was about 5 years ago now, where we're supposed to just talk for 10 minutes and then cut it and put it up for the podcast. We ended up doing a 2.5 hour podcast, so it stuck. The name sort of stuck, and it was just a weird, random sort of thing. But I thought, it seems I'm doing it by myself now, I could just bring the feature back and actually have a stopwatch and actually just talk for 10 minutes, and then that is it. So, yeah, without further ado, we will just go straight into this week's show, talking about the Microsoft stuff. So I will start the timer now. So first of all, let's talk about the games rumoured to be coming out for multi-platform. So first of all, Bethesda Game Studios is Starfield. Now that is rumoured to be coming to the PlayStation 5. So I guess if you pay $69 billion for a developer, you might need to get the games out onto other things to make money, because on Xbox a lot of the stuff is literally just, I mean, I don't buy games on the Xbox really. I've got the streaming sort of like Xbox servicey thing where I pay, it's like £12 a month, and I just download and play all the games that I want from their service. So the next game that's rumoured to be coming is from Xbox Game Studios, but again, I do think they're owned by Bethesda. They probably don't have the developer here, but it's I can't remember the hell the name of the games. The Resident Evil style games 1 and 2 that were out a couple of years ago, great games. But so yeah, I googled it. Tango Gameworks, founded by Shinji Mikami. No, I think they didn't they do Resident Evil? Am I thinking of someone else? But anyway, The Evil Within 1 and 2, I was thinking of great games, amazing games, and Ghostwire Tokyo, weird game but still really good. So Hi-Fi Rush, amazing little game. That looks like it's going to be coming to PS5 and Xbox. No, Nintendo Direct. So they'll be coming to the Switch, which I'd like to see it run on the Switch. Then there's also Xbox's Sea of Thieves, made by Rare, and it looks like that's coming to Switch and PlayStation, which again, it's an old game now, so I don't mind that. But then there's also rumours of new games not announced yet, not released yet, I should say. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle looks as though that will be coming to PS5 at some point. Now, what is all this sort of done? Now, for me, I think the full reasons why is simple. They've spent a hell of a lot of money buying game developers, and they've taken years and years and years to make some of these games. Now, I would have a guess that Microsoft's board and Xbox and all these people, they had a number set in their heads of, if we can sell so many million consoles by this date, then we can make our money back making these games exclusive. But, and now this is the problem, because games haven't been flowing on a regular basis for the Xbox, they've had a lot of delays, they've had a lot of substandard sort of games coming out, then that unfortunately has meant that the actual console itself just hasn't been selling as well as it maybe should. And in the eyes of the overlords, the actual Microsoft team themselves, they were thinking, right, if we say we buy all these teams, then all these extra millions of people will subscribe to Game Pass to make so many extra million, billion every year. But unfortunately, that Game Pass hasn't risen as high as they hoped. And then, because the Xbox Series has been outsold, I think it's 2-1 by the PlayStation 5, which is quite damning in itself. So yeah, so PlayStation 5 has sold around double the amount of Series X and S consoles. So I just think that the Xbox, their own personal box, is going to be the Game Pass box, where all their exclusive games, so-called, right, all their first party games will launch and go straight onto the Xbox day and date with Game Pass. So you just pay your $15-20 a month for the service, and with that basically means that you get these games included within the service. But if you are on PlayStation or you are on Nintendo devices in the future, or whenever these games come to pass, you will have to pay the $70 to buy each game. You won't get the Game Pass option unless in the future Sony and Nintendo decide to allow the Game Pass app onto their systems, which I don't think they will allow that, to be honest. They struggled like hell just to get it on the Mac, sort of like the Apple Store, and I still think you have to go the back ways round, right? Go on through the web browser and do it through the web browser. I might be wrong, I might have changed some of the stuff, but it seems as though a lot of the big developers don't want Microsoft's Game Pass service natively on their consoles. So this is the next best thing they can do. Charge $70 per game on rival systems. And I would have a guess to start with to try and stop the outrage and cry. Every single game will have at least a 1-year exclusivity period, unless it's a massively multiplayer sort of based game. Like in the future, I can see a game like Sea of Thieves coming out on the same day for every single console. Because I mean, why wouldn't you? You get a lot more players into it to get more people hyped about the game. Whereas games like Halo and I don't know what other games, I don't know. Well, there's Forza. I can see them coming out, and then certain games like the Forza games, I can see 6 months time to when they do the Game of the Year edition, because like every game gets a Game of the Year edition. I can see them re-releasing it and also releasing it for the PlayStation 5. So if you're on Xbox, you've played the game, you've had it within your subscription service, you've not had to pay extra for the game. But when you come to get it for other systems, you have to pay a premium dollar for it, and it will be 6 months to a year old, in my opinion. I mean, I might be completely wrong, but I still think that Microsoft will sort of say that they will not stop developing consoles. They want to have their own box under the TV so they can control their development, their everything about their game. But yeah, it is just a weird system. Now, I am sure that we'll be getting updates in the coming months, coming week maybe. But I will just say my final thoughts. In my opinion, this was the teams couldn't say that they were making these games for PlayStation 5. They wanted to be they're not coming out, just so it gave people the chance to buy the Xboxes to catch up and get closer to the PlayStation 5 sales, and then they wouldn't have to announce that they were going multi-platform because the sales had helped and kept them going. But because they haven't kept going, then they've had to announce the fact that they have to go multi-platform to help steady the ships. I don't know if that makes sense to a lot of people, but to me it does. Because if I was to say, oh, we're not going to make that Halo game just for this machine, we're going to make it for that one as well that you've already got, then why am I paying $500 for this other machine when I've already got the other one? So that makes sense to me. And that, my friends, is 10 minutes. So that is the 10 minutes of nothing. Hopefully my ramblings have made some sort of sense. And yeah, so thank you for watching. It's been me, David, One Up Gaming, episode 386 of the One Up Gaming podcast, and it's been the 10 minutes of nothing. So thank you all for watching. It's been me, David, One Up Gaming, episode 386 of the One Up Gaming podcast. We've given away the EA Sports FC code on Xbox. If you enjoy that, please tweet us, please leave comments on our videos. It helps us get more people, more views, I guess, and more subscribers, more things. And the more we get, the more giveaways we can do. I am applying for giveaways and things like that. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Please go to our website, which is oneupgaming.co.uk. We have an Etsy store, so just go on there. You can buy t-shirts and hats and cups and mugs and things. Subscribe, like and share the video. If you're watching this, please do all that. Comment. It really helps when you comment. And if you're listening to this, subscribe to us and leave positive feedback and all that kind of good stuff. I guess that's it. So thank you all for watching. It's been me, David. Thank you all for listening. Again, always me, David. And we will say thank you, goodbye, and yeah, see ya.